A Jay Briscoe Tribute Match has been announced for AEW Dynamite tonight. Plus, a WWE Hall of Famer reveals why they missed out on the Raw 30th anniversary, and an AEW star's contract is expiring next month. It's all in the wrestling news right now. On what would have been Jay Briscoe's 39th birthday, it's wonderful to be able to announce that tonight he will be honored and remembered on AEW Dynamite.
Yes, absolutely. In memory of Jay Briscoe, we will apparently see Mark Briscoe, his brother, of course, face a long-term friend and rival on screen of Jay Briscoe's, Jay Lethal, one-on-one. This comes following those kind of conflicting or confusing reports that initially cropped up saying that Warner Brothers had blocked AEW from trying to pay tribute to Jay Briscoe, but then that kind of got reversed or was proven to have been false all along. I'm not certain which one it was.
No, it's quite vague as to what happened here, but we know there was a very conspicuous absence from a major tribute to Jay Briscoe, other than a mention at the start and a mention at the very end of the show on last week's Dynamite.
They did mention it, but and it certainly wasn't like glossed over. Like Excalibur mentioned it very clearly.
Yes,
but it wasn't a sort of a dedicated, like, proper fleshed out segment of the show. A
show in dedication to Jay Briscoe was recorded after that, of course, which will be on Honor Club in the coming weeks. But we're getting a tribute match for Jay tonight on Dynamite. Tony Khan talked about it on the Battleground podcast, and he says these men, being Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal, requested this match. Wednesday will be the 39th birthday of the late great Jay Briscoe, and as we say, longtime friend and rival Jay Lethal and his brother Mark Briscoe wanted to honor the legacy of Jay. I fought hard to make it happen, and I'm really excited about the match. This is going to be something really great for everybody in the locker room who is rallying around the Briscoe family. Again, suggesting that there probably was some loggerheads between Tony Khan and Warner Brothers.
His words seem
Discovery.
to suggest that, don't they? Yeah, they do.
By saying like he had to really fight to make this thing happen. Ring announcer for Ring of Honor, Bobby Cruz, will be announcing the match. He put out a tweet saying he got the call to go to Lexington tomorrow to announce it. He says, "This means so much to me." So they're giving it the full treatment for Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal. I hope as well it will lead to them doing more with Mark Briscoe. And it's frustrating because we've heard in previous weeks, or in the previous days rather, since Jay Briscoe's passing, that numerous attempts to bring the Briscoes to AEW were blocked as a result of comments that Jay Briscoe made 10 years ago, comments that he has since apologized and made good for.
And apparently did so not just publicly but quietly and consistently over the years as well. Like, it seemed as though he genuinely wanted to make amends for what he said all those years ago.
And it looks as if there's now the ability to do more with Mark Briscoe as part of AEW television. But he'll be honored tonight on AEW Dynamite.
I think it's a very, very brave thing for Mark Briscoe to do so soon after such a tragic event. He's probably, he's certainly still, hurting from this, and it's an incredibly brave thing to do, to go out there on television and have this match. So, best wishes to him and to the whole family.
Absolutely, we send our best wishes. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw from this past Monday. Do you know what? It was good. It was probably the best anniversary / legend show.
I enjoyed most parts of it. The cage match was a sticking point for me, that got scrapped.
Yes, that was a sticking point for most people online. Some of the biggest criticism was, of all the things that you did on this night, you scrap a cage match that had, a couple of weeks build to it in favor of what we got instead, which was in favour of some of the other stuff.
About poker games backstage.
There's a lot of things where I think you couldn't cut this back at all. Like, they had Bianca Belair and Sonya Deville that went through a couple of ad breaks. I don't know whether that was extended because the cage match was cut short. I'm not too sure, but it's a shame we didn't get it. But there was the Legends involvement. I want to give some plaudits here.
Okay.
Because it wasn't just the Legends coming in and beating up the younger talent.
Yeah, that
as
is
it
true.
Normally is.
DX even made a joke of it. They went, "Well, we're too old to fight you, Gunther. Well, you'll batter us, effectively," which for Triple H to say is a huge... Actually, he said, "I'm retired," which I wonder if that's carrying a tone of like, if I wasn't, I'd still probably pin you, mate.
Maybe a little bit. The only sort of time we saw the Legends getting anything resembling one-up on the young talent was Kurt Angle shoving Gunther as he was refereeing their six-man tag, and Undertaker goozling LA Knight. But even then, he goozled him towards Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, it was Bray who finished him off. Yeah, so it all makes sense. But Mick Foley, though, has been sharing on Facebook the reason that he didn't attend Raw is 30, and they said Raw is XXX, which is the way it's been.
Very naughty.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll read the quote. He said on Facebook, "I was definitely asked by WWE to go to the show and politely declined due to the hectic nature of my schedule. If I had not taken the past couple of days off and instead travelled to Philadelphia for the show, I would be on the road for 32 consecutive days. I've been working on a new project which has been great fun, but also requires a lot of travel, and I really just needed a couple of days off to relax and see my wife and kids."
I do wonder what they would have had planned for Foley to be part of that show.
Yeah,
I played a bit of poker.
You know what? Because he's such a big legend and a former champion and everything, I'd like to have thought it would have been something more significant, but you would have probably just been playing.
I wonder whether you know how Godfather was the doorman for the poker.
Big change of profession for the Godfather.
Hey, look, you know what? We've been through a rough time. Cost of living crisis. We've all got to pivot. Even Godfather, who's now a doorman. Yeah. I would have had Foley come to the door. Name's not down. You're not coming in. Mm-hmm. Out he goes.
As the Godfather says.
As the Godfather says.
Doesn't he sound like? Hey, you come to me. No.
You come to me on the day of one of my lady's weddings.
On the day of Ron Simmons' poker game.
Even better. He comes to the door, name's not down, he goes. Seconds later, Doodle Love turns up. Oh, okay, baby! Name's not down, not coming in! Leaves.
They should have...
Cactus Jack, oh, your name's down. Come on in, Cactus.
Got you to do this. That would have been really good.
That'd have been fun. That'd have been a lovely time.
I don't blame Mick for doing that, for prioritising his own schedule and seeing his wife and kids more, because he spent all of his young adult life on the road, hasn't he? So yeah, fair enough.
Work-life balance, Mick Foley is the new gimmick. Bray Wyatt, going back to the Undertaker Bray Wyatt segment we spoke about just then, he put out a tweet out of character saying about the moment he shared with the Undertaker where Undertaker whispered in his ear, telling him some things that he wants to hear. He tweeted, "This moment justified a lifetime of sacrifices for me, a lifetime of people treating my uniqueness like it was a disease. Through all the bad times, I never changed myself to fit anyone's narrative, and I'm proud of that. Thank you, Taker. Hashtag suck it, LA Knight."
Yeah, the hashtag, it all read really deep and in character, and then he's put, suck it, LA Knight.
So Wyatt's joined DX, confirmed. The Undertaker tweeted about it as well. He said, "Moments define this industry, and this one was special."
I mean, it's clear that the Undertaker cares about Bray Wyatt as a performer and wants him to do well and stuff, but has Undertaker also gone, "I'm really brilliant with that too"? This moment was amazing.
Thank you, Taker. Yes, thank you, me.
Now, it was a good moment, to be fair, but I disagree with his... It turns out me and Undertaker have different philosophies of the business. Because he said moments define this industry. I think I like longer term thinking. I think stories define the business.
I think stringent paperwork and close attention to detail to admin defines this business.
Yes, absolutely.
Personally, I do. On the subject of admin, let's talk contractual admin finally for an AEW star who could be away next month.
Yes, according to Fightful Select, Brian Cage signed with AEW in 2020 and his current deal is set to expire, they say, unless an extension is reached. Cage's contract is set to expire in a matter of weeks, but Fightful Select has learned. Cage's deal was set to expire last year as well, before his option year was picked up by AEW, bit of an extension. We were told at the time that Cage was pleasantly surprised, as he didn't expect to have his option picked up after not being on TV for months. Cage is 1/3 of the current Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions with Cowan and Toa Leona. There have been feelers within WWE that have gauged the company's interest in bringing Cage in, Fightful are told, though we aren't sure if there's particular interest, they say, on either end.
So unless another year is picked up or whether a new contract is offered, Brian Cage could be done with AEW next month.
Quite possibly. And I think that report there from Fightful really clears up a lot of confusion I had about Brian Cage, because it really did seem like he was out the door. He wasn't on TV a lot, and I thought something's been said or something's happened backstage. He was the focal point of Team Taz, and now suddenly not only has he left the group, but he's not even on my screen anymore. And that makes a lot of sense, that they were waiting to decide whether to pick him up for a further year's option on his contract, which they did, which explains why he suddenly came back. But now, looks like he could be gone.
I think he'd be a good fit in WWE. I really do.
Yeah, I do as well, although...
you're not sure?
I don't know. I think I'd like, not to knock Brian Cage, but I'd like to see him with a manager, I think.
Yeah, he needs a mouthpiece.
But he's got a freakish combination of like strength and agility. Yes, he'd be great.
How's this for a freakish combination? Cultaholic Island and YouTube star Brandon Collins. Brandon joins me tonight for a new episode of Desert Island Graps. If you have you follow Brandon, you'll see he's amazing on WWE 2K22. He pancake slapped Ricochet the other day. Literally the actual Ricochet. Right. That was the thing. He's going to be at the Rumble on Saturday. We talk all about that, and we asked Brandon what his 3 favourite wrestling matches are that he'd watch on a Desert Island. It's on the podcast feed later on today, and it's on the Patreon if you want to watch the video as well. Are you twitching tonight?
I am twitching alongside Owen Mawson on twitch.tv/Cultaholic. We're taking control of Cultaholic FC on Football Manager, continuing our push towards promotion to the Premier League. We've almost reached the promised land, Tom.
Did I score last week?
You aren't playing for us, but there is a T. Campbell playing for Stoke, I believe, and you scored 4 goals in one game.
Of course I did.
And it was against one of our rivals, so we were very grateful to you for that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. It's moments like that define the business. We'll have more wrestling news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.